Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name's Marina. I am a certified lash tech based in Toronto, Canada, and I like making lashing videos. And today I will be here talking in front of the camera again and sharing my tips and tricks with you guys when it comes to retention and some of the issues that I have faced in the past and some of the things that has helped me greatly improve my retention with my clients. So let's get into the video and talk about retention. Alright guys, so the main thing that I kind of want to touch upon is that I always kind of put out there, what works for me might not work for you, and that is completely okay, completely fine, but hopefully in the grand scheme of things, you guys are able to take something away from this video and maybe apply it to your techniques, and who knows, maybe you guys might be able to actually use the stuff that I'm sharing and help improve your retention. So we've all been there, whether it's ourselves or our clients. You know, when you're in the bathroom and you're brushing through your lashes and suddenly 7 fall out, you're wondering, why is all my lashes falling out? And immediately you get upset and you might message your lash tech asking, hello, I just spent over $100 on this set. Why are all my lashes falling out? And secondly, you can be on the other end of that as a lash tech, getting that message being like, excuse me, but all my lashes be falling out. What is going on? And you know what? As a consumer and as a lash tech, we kind of understand why there is a lot of anger, maybe annoyance, maybe even just sadness when the lashes fall out. And that is completely understandable because as a lash tech, and I'm pretty sure as you guys watching, whether you're a lash tech or a client, you know that how upsetting it can be, especially when you are spending maybe over like $100 on your set. So one of the first tips that I want to talk to you guys about and kind of pinpoint right off the bat is lash prepping. Now, lash prepping to me is one of the key components to having an amazing retention life. Now, dirty lashes are a no-no, and we have talked about this many times. Dirty lashes will make your lash extensions slip off a lot faster. Now, this goes for client and lash tech. As a client, if you are going to a appointment and you want your lashes to last a long time, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to wash them. It is just the way it is, unless you want them to all fall out. Or sometimes lash clients aren't too sure about how to take care of them properly, whether it's they've just never been told, or they might not have time. Whatever, they're the client, they're paying. To me, I don't really care, because for me as the tech, I always try and make sure to wash the lashes and do a lash bath. Now, I used to charge for lash baths. I used to do $5, but most people opt out for them anyway because it's like, well, I'm not gonna pay $5 when I could just wash them myself, but then people won't actually wash them. So to me, I kind of rationalized it in a way that was like, well, I mean, you know, they might not have or might not want to pay that $5, but if I have great retention, these clients are potentially going to come back. So whether I might lose a few bucks not charging the lash bath, to me it's worth it to just do it anyway, because longevity of your client is more important than maybe losing like $5 per client, because they're going to keep bringing you business that you need when your retention is good, because no client wants horrible retention. And I really go in there when I do a lash bath. Not only do I focus on the lashes, I focus on the lid as well, because oil will break down the adhesive. So to me, lash prepping is key. So the second thing that I kind of want to touch upon, which I have made plenty of videos on this topic, but that is lash wrapping. Now, I know it might sound redundant. If you're new here, this might be the first time. If you are a viewer that is coming back, you know I talk about lash wrapping. You know how much I value lash wrapping. This is the process of getting that extension wrapped around the natural lash. And you can go through my videos and find more in-depth videos about this topic because I go really into it because I think it is so important. But having lash wrap around the natural lash extension is key to a high retention. I have had clients come back over a month, and it's not a fill, but they will come back after a month and there are still lashes hanging on, and there are like lashes that are fully outgrown, and that's how you know your retention is good. Now, lash wrapping also will avoid like the little lift here. Place the lash without lash wrapping, there is potential for lift. And what I mean by lift is that the lash extension's base won't be sitting flat onto the lash like this. It'll kind of have a little lip like that, and that causes horrible retention issues, because if your client is brushing their lashes or washing them and trying to take care of them, it's really easy for the spoolie to get underneath that little lip and it'll just pop off, and you don't want that. So lash wrapping kind of just avoids that at all costs. Obviously with classic lashes, that's a whole different story. Now I know some people might have this, idea that like, well, my glue dries so fast, like I can't get it around. Like if you can't see that base opening up and wrapping around the natural lash, chances are your glue has already cured. And I know that people who are beginners might be a little bit slower at lashing, and so you won't be able to get that wraparound because you're focusing on isolation and placement and everything else that you have to worry about as a lash tech, right? So my advice would be to go for a glue that has a slower drying time. There are glues out there that have like a 5-second drying time, 3 to 5. Now I personally like 0.5 to 1 second of drying time, or at least at the max 1 to 2. But with that being said, like if you haven't mastered placement and isolation, then you might want to focus on that before you try to focus on speed. I think for me, speed is secondary. You want to make sure that you have the techniques down packed, because if you are going fast, but then all of them fall out, or it might look messy or not clean, what's the point? All right, so third tip that I want to touch upon is having the correct room temperature and humidity. Now, guys, this is so crucial to me as well. Now, that being said, I have mentioned before, I am from Toronto, Canada. We have different seasons. The seasons are constantly changing. The humidity and temperature is constantly changing. And to be honest, guys, it is quite annoying, okay? Like, I'm gonna tell you, it is quite annoying. And like I said, guys, I'm just here sharing what works for me. Like, I'm still learning in this process too. So that's something that I have been trying to experiment with. But yeah, for sure that the room temperature and the humidity needs to be on par. Now, some tips on how to either get it more dry, get it more humid, I want to share that with you. So if your room temperature is too dry, obviously humidifier right away. Humidifier will help. During the winter, I found that also it was really cold, and when it was really cold, the room moisture dropped intensely. So I thought that if I turned the heat on, it would still dry it out because it's a vent and there's just air blowing out of it. But what I did find was if I kind of kept my room temperature at like 22, 23 while I had the humidifier going, and I closed the door because I work in a room, it's actually a lot smaller. So with a smaller space, more moisture is able to kind of condense into this one environment, making the room moist. I hate that word, but it's literally the only way to describe this. It worked. Every single glue has a different range of temperature and humidity that works best. So always read the packages of your glue as well. It's super important to know because not all glues are the same. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Now, let's say way too humid, okay? Obviously you can use a dehumidifier, but if you don't want to purchase a dehumidifier, I used to live in a basement, okay? So right now I'm in a condo, but when I worked in a basement, it was so moist in there. It was like my glue would just dry so fast that I didn't even get to have time to even apply it, like I mentioned before. So what did I do? I opened a few windows and I got a fan going. The fan actually is so helpful. It just allows everything to kind of move throughout the room and really allow the moisture to leave the room, especially because like if there's a fan going, there's airflow, and then with the windows open there's more airflow, and for some reason it just dries it out like amazingly. One other thing that you can do for dry that I didn't mention is get a bonder or an accelerator, which is what I currently use. I think that it's a lifesaver because no matter the humidity or the temperature, glue bonders will definitely help, or a glue accelerator. I like glue accelerators to attach to the lash strip of the false extensions, and then I like to put bonder on the natural lashes of my client, and I found that it has helped me lash at the speed that I want to lash at, but as well allowing me to have high retention for my clients so that when they leave they are satisfied for at least a week. I try to aim for a week of nothing falling out, but if it's a classic or hybrid, it's very normal. And something that you can communicate to your clients is that during the changing of the seasons, if you live in a place that has different seasons, there are times when your lashes are going to be shedding kind of like leaves, and we call this spring or fall shedding. It's inevitable, it just happens, and I have noticed it firsthand for myself as well. So sometimes if your client is noticing that a lot of her lashes are falling out, but you're going into spring or you're going into fall, it's probably because of that. But something you can tell them to make sure and like kind of watch out for is, does your extension have a lash, like a natural lash like attached to it? And if it does, then that means that it's just like a natural fallout. So yeah, so that's it for today, guys, on tips on how to increase retention, and I hope that in some way I was able to help you. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I am going to be starting a new series where I am part of a lash group. If you guys need help and need advice from fellow lash techs, even some clients, there's this Facebook group called Lash Techs Unite. It's my favorite lash group because people just put all these different scenarios, ask for different questions, and honestly, it has helped me get so much insight on other people's journeys and their techniques and their issues, and all these other people comment down below like how to help. So I will read a few of those. I can kind of pick it apart and see what I would do personally, and then if you guys can comment down below and tell me what you would do, so we can help each other out in this community. But go join it if you guys are interested, because I find that it's very helpful. Anyway, guys, I will see you guys next week. I post every Sunday at 6:15. If you found this helpful in any way, please give it a thumbs up because it does help with my engagement. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave it in the comment section down below. And I will see you guys. Bye!